On back. On back.
Center.
Cut this way. Whoa, you gotta get over that way. A couple inches. On back. You're good. Whoa. That's good. Hey.
It'll go.
Turn it. Got it. This morning, Dad's hooking up to the gooseneck, and we are taking that Chem tank that we bought a couple months ago or a month ago. We're actually taking it to a company that is going to build us a sprayer trailer. We found us a trailer. It's actually the same company we bought the tank from, but at the time we didn't think we were going to be able to find a trailer. So they have us another tank just like that one, and we've already bought the trailer. We're going to put it together for us. So Dad's going to take it up there. Should have it, but you know, roughly a couple weeks, I'd say, maybe a little longer. I guess I don't really know the timetable, but either way, he's taking it up there this morning. Did you forget your code? I still don't understand the purpose of that, but he likes it and he's happy. Here's our Boehner boom trencher. Get this thing in action once it rains. Forklift has shorter forks than that. We were hoping the skid steer forks would pick it up, and conveniently that thing takes skid steer attachments, but they weren't quite long enough either, so we had to strap it. It'll probably fall off by the time we're, you know, at peak height. Looks a little light in the back, but it's gonna make it. Dad's taking this tank to Ag Chem in Sabina, and that's who's putting this trailer together for us. What's the name of the trailer? Is it a dual lift or a Demco? I think it's a dual lift, ain't it? Dual lift. So before I get started, I've got to run up some paperwork to the bank, pain in the butt, but they have banker hours and they're not open at like 7, and they're not open at like 11 o'clock tonight. So we're gonna do that now, help BJ move a little bit. He looks like a tired stripper to me. Looks like him late night stripping or getting to you.
Nice fried.
Yep. Any new tips?
3.
3 tips.
The 3 I broke and had to replace yesterday.
It's like stripper tips.
Yeah. Oh no.
And so he had a couple times he busted the tip of a shank. So if you missed yesterday's video, the field he was in had several old buildings in it several years ago, and well, he managed to find a couple blocks and large pieces of concrete and stuff like that, and he pretty much had a miserable day yesterday. I think he only got to do about 60 acres. At one point when I talked to him, he had replaced 4 shear bolts in about less than 10 acres. So hopefully today goes smoother. He's away from that kind of stuff today. He's just in, you know, fairly straight open fields with no history of building foundations. Back from the bank, now we need to go get tractor ready to roll for today. We're gonna go back over to where we were yesterday, spreading fertilizer. We're gonna try to work down those tile lines. We have a chance of rain in a few days. I'd like to work those tile lines down now, let that rain help it settle down, and then we might even have to work it one more time after this and run that underfoot rolling harrow across it, kind of get it nice and smooth. That's the plan, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. A lot of stuff to do in a short amount of time. So slight change of plans. Just got a text message that my kids who go to school right there, their school doesn't have any power and they're going to dismiss in about an hour, which my mother-in-law's watching the kids for us in the afternoons till Kayla gets home. Well, she may not be able to get them, so I'm just going to work this field right here. That way if I need to, I can run over there and snag one of them, or snag the kids from the school until she can get here. But for now, we are going to remove some of this debris that's blew in the previous windstorms. It's weird, we have power here. Brad just turned on the grain leg. It's running. Yeah, this one might at least be ours. I believe that's the sealer we put on the hoop barn floor. Let's see what we need to do to Black Betty here. See if we need fuel and death. We do. Indeed we do. So going to the bank this morning for Dad. I mean, it's for both of us, but Dad asked me to go. That was not in my plans, and that has slowed us down a lot. To the Thunder Chicken we go. Some dinosaur bones in this girl. Well, we got enough hose. Now we gotta get all the necessities in there, you know, coffee cup, lunchbox, cameras, all the good stuff. So we're gonna go back here by the house site first. I got a good buddy of mine, Monroe, the fella I host the Working Words podcast with. So if you didn't know, I do have a podcast called Working Words. Check it out anywhere podcasts are available. Monroe is a contractor, handyman extraordinaire, and him and his wife are about to have a baby, so congratulations to them. But they're in the area, wanted to stop and see the house before, you know, they get busy with baby having things. So let's go back here and work this field. That way when they get here, I can chat with them for a minute. So one thing I just noticed, we've got some debris in this field, and it has pointy things like nails on it. So you've probably heard me mention in previous videos that our neighbor, their buildings are kind of falling apart, and every time the wind blows, parts of their building end up in our field. I mean, we're like 500 yards from that building. I got boards with nails in them and pieces of their roof back there. Now, he did sell that property recently. Unfortunately, not to us, even though I've asked him multiple times. But the new owner is at least putting new roofs on it and fixing everything up. So hopefully this is the last year that we have to pick up crap like that, because that would make me very, very angry. If it went in a tire. That's not even our tractor, that's a loaner tractor, and I'd be angry. Wonder how many serpents are under this piece of tin. That'll be fun. It's always a fun game to play. Just dragging my tin. There's the rest of the roof. Good news is actually it's aluminum, so might make enough money off that to stock the fridge in the new shop. All right, Monroe just left. I just left the house site. They're getting that OSB on the sides quick. It's shaping up pretty fast. Now, they're not setting trusses until they, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're not going to do the trusses until they get the garage framed up, because the truss line just goes right into the garage. So it might be hitting a standstill as far as that goes. Probably starting to work on the garage tomorrow, I'd imagine. But for now, we're going to do some vertical tillage. I'm going to heat me up some lunch. You guys haven't seen this thing yet, but I used to use this pretty often. This is a meal heater. That thing on the USB, or the 12 volt, heat up my lunch. We might just have to stop for this. I'm willing to stop to start lunch. It's 2 o'clock and I haven't been fed. I'm getting hangry. Put that in there. Plug that in for about 5 minutes. 3 YouTube days. I used to eat a lot of meals like that in the tractor. But now, instead of packing lunches, I'm usually editing videos, so. So that took about 15 minutes to get it good and toasty. I picked this up at a pilot truck stop like 5 years ago, but I'll post an Amazon link to this in the description, or one like this. These things are great when you're tired of ham sandwiches. We're still over here by the grain bins, and there's more roof panels. Fantastic. Had to pee anyways, so I guess we'll hop out and relocate that. Yep. That ain't no good. Wonder how many boards are in this field that we'll never find until we run over them. That is hot too. That is real hot. I've still got the the accelerator on the most aggressive angle. After this rain we have coming in a couple days, I will probably back that off and go a little less aggressive. It's doing a phenomenal job. I really like the finished product we're getting out of this, but we're getting closer to plant date. It's time to start shallowing up a little bit, I think, you know, getting less aggressive. But this field here has had a long history of slug issues. All these fields right here. In fact, I would be shocked if we don't have to replant a little bit of this field. One of the ways to combat slugs is with some tillage, so hopefully we can turn over a little bit more dirt than normal and dry out our slug issues. If you don't know what slugs are, they're little bugs, or little slugs. I mean, they just look like a little slug. I don't know how else to describe it. And they eat beans. They'll even eat on corn, but they wreak havoc on beans. The corn will usually outgrow the slugs. They'll eventually leave it alone, but they will cut the top of the bean plant off, and then the bean plant's dead. There's slug pellets you can use. We've not used those yet because it hasn't been big enough of an issue yet, but it's definitely getting close to that. Usually we replant it once or twice and we're good. And not the whole field, but the last time we had beans in this field, I think I replanted like 18 out of the 30 acres. So hopefully we don't have to do that again. Now, if we do, perhaps those slug pellets would be something we would look into. Now, one other way that I've heard people getting rid of slugs is by putting 28, like a really, really low shot of 28, even on their beans. We haven't done that yet either, but yeah, if it keeps becoming an issue, we might have to get a little creative. Looks like the Amish boys are done for the day. Now they leave at 4, but they get here at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So they start early and then they leave early. And they work efficiently. They got quite a bit done today. So the shop is right there. It did take up about an acre of this field, which I know some people will say, I can't believe you give up an acre of a field or a farm ground, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it sucks that we lost a little bit of the field, but that sacrifice is worth it to us. That's where we wanted the shop. That's where we thought it made the most sense. So that's where the shop's at. I was talking to the project manager for that, and they're going to come in tomorrow and start constructing the trusses. And he said that or tomorrow or Monday. They weren't real sure, but they delivered a large genie lift this afternoon. So I would say it's a good sign for them, you know, constructing trusses and trying to set those in the very near future. So exciting stuff. Not only is the house taking shape, the shop's going to start taking shape pretty quick. Now the shop is projected to be done much sooner than the house because there's just not near as much interior work or trim work and plumbing, and well, there's a lot of electrical, but just a little bit simpler than the house. Now the framing of the house will be done real soon, and then it'll be little things that you can't even see on camera that'll be getting done to the house, like plumbing, wiring, HVAC, little things like that. We're pretty much done over here right beside the grain bins. I may or may not be vertical tilling me up a sweet corn patch. We had this little chunk of grass right here that once we built the hoop barn, we couldn't really farm anymore. Kind of got turned into a little island, so yeah, I'm gonna make it into a sweet corn patch this year. That way we can feed the raccoons, and hopefully us too. Mrs. Brown's supposed to meet me over here. We have not done our daily walk through the house. I haven't been back there for a while, so she's gonna come over. We're gonna see what they got done, collect our GoPro, and yeah, get back to work. After a T-ball game, Mrs. Brown's just about here. Go over here and grab my GoPro. It's pretty toasty today. I'll be actually thoroughly shocked if it hasn't overheated. That's a good sign. It actually worked. I can't believe it. It's actually worked that whole time. Hi guys.
Mighty Mints are ready for T-ball.
The Mighty Mints, oh boy. She wearing her Crocs?
No, she has on tennis shoes.
Yeah. You guys ready to check the house out?
Yeah. This is her bedroom. Yeah, this is her bedroom. This is Libby's room. Don't
push on that.
That's my room. Down there's your bedroom. Or someone.
Hey, you guys don't have to use the doors, you know, you can just...
Whoop. That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been going like this.
But now that we are all enclosed in all the way around the house, you can kind of see the living room, like this open area. It's really starting to take shape now, and it's easier for us to visualize it. One thing I've noticed with houses and buildings, when you're building them, until you start getting walls in, a space just doesn't look, it's hard to get a good perception on it. Like, for example, the new shop, it's 100 by 135, and it doesn't look very big because there's no walls there right now. But that's a pretty big space. I think we're gonna call her quits for the night a little early. There's some stuff I gotta get accomplished tomorrow. For tomorrow, looking to have a pretty big day in this thing tomorrow, and get several acres knocked out. Today we did just a little over 100 acres, but we didn't get in the tractor till 1:30, and they were in a bunch of patches. Not very efficient running. Tomorrow's not going to be super efficient running either, but you gotta do what you gotta do. These fields aren't gonna tell themselves.